Good morning, class. Today we are going to be doing another central case study for your virtual assignment. Today's central case study is going to be focusing on the cleaning the tides of San Diego and Tijuana. So I'm going to read through this one like I did the last one, kind of give you a little bit more information as needed, and then you're going to come down here and answer the four questions that they have for you to answer afterward. So let's begin. Border 2012. The pollution problem in the Tijuana River is just part of a larger environmental situation along the 31,000 kilometer or 2,000 mile border, for those of you who don't like to do the metric system, between Mexico and the United States. Located along this border are 15 pairs of U.S.-Mexico sister cities, meaning that they share some stuff with each other and they're literally right near each other. The map below shows the U.S.-Mexico border region and these sister cities. So, if you come down here, you'll see the 6 sister cities where they're literally right beside each other and share the border, where you can literally cross from one city to the next and cross countries at the same time. So you can just hop across the country from U.S. to Mexico back and forth through these sister cities, but you can see them all along here. And it even shows you U.S. cities in white and Mexican cities in black, to kind of give you an idea of where they all are. Now, rapid population growth in the border region's sister cities has placed stresses on the region's resources, causing many environmental problems. So the problem here is there's a lot of people. Population keeps growing. And as we've discussed in the past, as populations grow, more resources are used. We looked at ecological footprint activity we did the other day. As you have more people, more resources are used, more problems can arise. These problems include air and water pollution, overloading water and sewage treatment plants, and overuse of natural resources. So, again, all classic signs and indicators of what happens when you have too many people. Water is polluted, the air is polluted, overloading of our water and sewage treatment plants because there's so much sewage, so much water being used, and overuse of natural resources. Obviously, the more people there are, the more natural resources that are going to be used. Furthermore, the health of the region's nearly 13 million residents is also at stake. Because think about it, if you have pollution, that pollution is going to harm people. The more pollution you have, the more illnesses and other things are going to happen. Because the pollution is causing respiratory ailments, waterborne diseases, respiratory ailments, and other health problems. That repeated itself, I'm sorry, but yes, it's causing respiratory problems, waterborne diseases, and other health problems due to how many people are existing in that one area. The more people crammed into a small amount of space, the more pollution that occurs, and the more pollution that occurs, the more illnesses that tend to happen. So these are all problems that these border cities, these sister cities, are facing. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, which you should remember as the EPA from our earlier lessons, and Mexico's Secretariat of Environment and Natural Resources, or CEMARNAT, along with many other organizations, are working together on an environmental plan for the region called Border 2012. So this is bringing back the idea that environmental science does not happen in a vacuum, as we discussed. It involves governmental organizations, scientists, and other various groups in coming up with plans to help the environment. In this case, it's involving our EPA, the Mexican version of the EPA, as well as other unnamed organizations, which I can only assume would be scientific organizations and environmentalist organizations or environmentalism organizations that want to help restore the area to a little better livable condition. This binational effort takes into account population, demographics, language, trade, and biological diversity. So they're, again, not working in a vacuum. They're taking into account the population that lives there, the demographics of those populations, Hispanic people versus maybe some of the American-based people, whether they're white, black, or what have you, on the other side and the American side of it. They're taking into consideration the language. So, in the border areas, you're going to have a lot of Spanish as well as English. So it's going to be a mixture of Spanish and English language spoken down there because you're so close to the Mexican border. Trade, so what's being traded back and forth between the border. between these sister cities. So, what kind of products are being manufactured and traded and shipped, and then biological diversity. So, not only are they taking into consideration the human aspects of it, of population, demographics, language, and trade, but they're also taking into consideration what other animals live there, what creatures live there that share that space with us humans in this plan. Now, the Border 2012's 6 goals are to reduce water contamination, reduce air pollution, reduce land contamination, improve environmental health, establish emergency preparedness and response, and to enforce environmental stewardship. So, what they're saying is they want to reduce the water contamination. They want to reduce how much contamination the water gets on a daily to weekly to yearly basis. They want to reduce air pollution, so they want to they want to reduce the amount of air smog and pollution going up into the atmosphere. They want to reduce land contamination, so think litter and trash that occupies land space. They want to reduce the amount that's being done there. And they also want to improve environmental health, so they want to improve the health of the environment, the responsiveness, the overall health and growth of the trees and the land and the water systems. They want to improve that health. So it kind of goes along with the whole reduce air pollution, reduce land contamination, and water contamination. They also want to establish emergency preparedness and response, meaning they want to establish a response team, a response group that is prepared to respond in case of an environmental disaster. Just in case something goes drastically wrong, they want to have a group ready to respond to that disaster at any given time. And they also want to enforce environmental stewardship. What they mean by environmental stewardship is they want to enforce the idea that we are responsible for the environment and that every citizen in both cities across the border, in both sister cities, all across the border, and all the different sister cities that exist across the border, they want to promote the idea that we are all part of the environment and thus we all should protect it, which is true. We are part of the environment. So, this last point is very important because they want to make sure everyone understands that in each one of those sister cities, those 15 pairs of sister cities, we all need to work together and be responsible and take care of our environment the best we can. If we don't, then we're going to lose it and we're going to have people dying on us that shouldn't have never died given those circumstances. So, now that that's being done, you have the US and Mexico sister cities map, which shows you where the sister cities are. Just look for the cities that are very close to each other, like Calexico and Mexicali, or Yuma and San Luis. Those are some sister cities. I can go on and on with the different names, but just look at those. The white ones are U.S. cities. The black ones are Mexican cities, and the big greenish, light green line is the border region. Where U.S. and Mexico separate. So you're going to use the information above, and you're going to use the map to answer these 4 questions, like identify 3 of the 15 pairs sister cities along the U.S.-Mexico border. I just gave you 2 of the pairs. So if you're paying attention to the video, you should have at least 2 of the pairs for that answer. But answer these questions to the best of your ability. Remember, you can write on this document by typing it in, so you can download the document and type in your answers on the document and ship it off to Google Classroom that way, or you can type it out on this document and email it to me directly via my email. So Google Classroom, directly to my email, one of the two. Or if you're feeling up to it, you can write on your own separate sheet of paper the answers to the questions and upload that picture to Google Classroom or my email. So again, type it out on the document and ship it off via the classroom or email, or write it on your own sheet of paper and ship it off via classroom or email, or do one of those above options and instead of shipping it off to me via email or Google Classroom, bring it back to me the next day you see me. So those are your ways of turning it in. Remember, you can do it any which way: Google Classroom, email me the answers, or turn them in the next day you physically see me, whatever day that'll be for whichever group is listening to this at that time. With that, have a wonderful day. If you have any questions or anything comes up or problems happen with the video or the worksheet or anything else I've posted, just let me know. Have a wonderful day.